short for a stormtrooper?
What's up, my friends? It is Stormy, of course, and welcome back to another episode of Stormy's Schmoedown Breakdown. So guys, coming up this Friday, we have got one of my most anticipated matches, and I know that I always say this every episode, but personally, I am very, very excited for this match coming up on Friday. We finally have Jeff Sneider going up against Drew McWeeny. This is so anticipated for me because I'm so looking forward to this match because you're talking about two guys who cover movies all the time. Right? Drew McWeeny being basically the godfather, as he's so rightly named, of the league, going up against Sneider, who also is a movie buff, covers movies all the time. Now, these two movie buffs, these two guys that cover movies constantly, are going up against each other to test their knowledge. This is going to be epic. I cannot wait to get into covering this match. It's going to be so exciting, of course, coming up on Friday. But to begin, of course, I have to start off with the two big matches that we just had, Team Trek versus Team Heroes. Now, starting off here first with Team Trek versus Team Heroes. Now, Team Heroes won the match this time, and this means that they might be on to the Patriots once again. I'm really excited to see where Team Heroes is going to go with this, if they're going to take the match back to the Patriots again, because that again is going to be one of the most look forward to matches of the Schmoedown, of course. But Team Trek, is really starting to fall behind here. I don't know, maybe it's time for them to start thinking about breaking up and going in their separate directions because they've had a lot of detrimental losses, especially Inman. Inman's coming off of a lot of losses in the Schmoedown, so maybe it's time for them to go their separate ways, maybe regroup or something like that, I'm not sure, but they're really falling behind, and they might need to take a little break for a while, to be honest with you. But the biggest match, of course, was Riley versus Roca, round 3 again. Roca and Riley, the two powerhouses of the league, arguably the two most knowledgeable competitors of the league, going up against each other for round number 3. And what happens? Mark Riley comes away with the victory, and unfortunately I had to take the loss. My record on the singles matches now drops to 3-3 because of that, and the thing is, I knew that I shouldn't have gone against my gut. I just thought that it was too soon for Roca to lose the belt. I really did. I thought he just got the belt back from Merle, and it's too soon for him to lose the belt. But my gut told me that Riley was going to come in and take it because of what I said before in my breakdown for that show, was that there's a lot of champions that are starting to lose their edge in the matches now, and Mark Riley speaks that into truth, coming into that match and taking the belt back from Roca again. So now we see yet another champion has fallen, and now Mark Yodi Riley is back on top as your current champion. So now, who's he going to take on for the belt next? Now, people are going to start to come after Mark Riley again. And of course, those are going to be amazing matches. So exciting to see who Mark Riley is going to be taking on in those future matches. But now, of course, let's get into the main event for this Friday, McWeeny versus Sneider. So starting off with McWeeny first, in preparation for this match, I watched his match against Matt Nost, and also his match in the free-for-all as well. Now, his debut match, his only singles match, was against Matt Nost, of course, part of Team Top 10 there with Roca, the champions at the time, and he had a great match against Matt Nost. He almost got a TKO against Nost. Now, Nost didn't have a good game, but almost getting a TKO against Nost is pretty damn good. So you have to take that into consideration, of course. And also, like I said, I watched the free-for-all in preparation because it's a really, really great way to gauge your competitors with a wide range of questions. So I also watched his performance in the free-for-all. Now McWeeny is strong in a number of categories. You know, he's one of the few powerhouses in the league. There's a lot of strong competitors in the league, but he's one of the few powerhouses. We're talking about, like, you know, the Merles, the Rokas, the Bibianis, the McWeenys, of course, as, you know, powerhouses in the league. He's one of these very few extremely strong competitors. You know, people fear this guy. People really fear this guy going into a match. His knowledge is almost perfect. And you could see that in the first round against Matt Nose. He almost had a perfect round. He just didn't get one question about what was I think it was a box office question. And he got one question wrong. He almost tied Bibiani for having a perfect first round in that match there, which was just insane. You know, Bibiani being an absolutely amazingly strong competitor himself. Now, you know, he's even strong on some of the movie release dates. You know, he got movie release dates. He got opponent's choice, and then Nost picked the dreaded movie release dates category, and he got two right in that category right off the bat. But you know, his real power comes from his history. Drew McWeeny is called the Godfather for a reason. It's because he's been covering movies for 20 years. Yeah, that's right. 20 years he's been covering movies. He's been doing this basically before any of us in the pop culture scene have been doing any of this. Drew McWeeny was the first. That's why he's called the Godfather. It means it's in a reference to his history, right? His history in movies and movie knowledge. And sometimes you just can't beat history. You know, that's the thing, is that sometimes your maturity in movie trivia comes from just the history that you have. It's how long that you've been in the business. He has so much knowledge of movies, and that's why he almost got the TKO against Nost, because he just came in there and just blew Nost right off the table. Because he is so knowledgeable about movies that he was able to have himself ahead enough in that match to pull out the victory and almost get the TKO against Nost. But that also, you know, that notion, that leads me right into talking about Jeff Sneider, because Jeff, minus the history aspect, Jeff Sneider is almost exactly the same as Drew McWeeny. They're basically the same people. They both cover movies. It's just that McWeeny has been doing it for much longer than Sneider has, but they're both very steeped in current and past movie knowledge. Now, in preparation for this match, I watched his performance in the free-for-all and also his one of his current matches against Makuga. Now, these are two perfect matches to determine really how well your competitor is going to be. You know, the free-for-all for its range of questions, and Makuga for his wide and wild range of movie knowledge. So those are the two matches that I really wanted to watch his performance on, to really see where he is, where he's going to be coming into this match right now. Now, in the free-for-all, he had a very surprising bad showing. I mean, it was not one of his picture-perfect performances by a long shot. I thought he was going to do much more in that match. I thought that he was going to get much further than he did. So take that into consideration. You know, that could, you know, he's coming off of a bad loss, so that could either work for him or against him. He could either be bummed out about that loss and be coming into this match with a bad attitude, or he could be coming out for blood because he had such a bad match that he almost feels kind of embarrassed about that. So he's coming back out for blood to kind of reprove his point as the champion, as one of the champions in the Schmoedown League. So definitely take that into consideration. Now, in his match against Makuga, he was the one that broke Makuga's streak. He was the one. Makuga had this insane winning streak going on the Schmoedown, and everybody was just so shocked when Sneider came in there and got the W against Makuga, because it just snapped his winning streak. and also allowed Tom Dagnino to come back into the league, which was by far one of my favorite scenes from Schmoedown history. I sometimes rewatch that interview, it was so great. But yeah, he allowed Tom Dagnino to come back and to compete and to have this upcoming 5-round match that's going on between Macuga and Dagnino. To still look forward to that as well. I can't wait to cover that match. But yeah, he's the one that broke Macuga's winning streak, and that's because, you know, he's not only super knowledgeable, but he's been around for a long time, not just in singles, but also with JTE on the Patriots in team matches. They're the champions. He's been around doing this, doing this for a long time. In the Schmoedown, he's very, very well versed, and that's going to play into the dynamics of McWeeny coming into this match. You know, Sneider has really proved himself to be a very, very feared competitor in this league. To be honest, you know, Sneider is another one of those competitors that when you find out that you're going up against him, it's not a good day. It's a day to be scared. It's a day to really, really check your brain and make sure that you're on top of your game if you're going up against him. So, finally, that leads me, of course, into my pick for the match. Who does Stormy think is going to come out victorious in this upcoming match on Friday between Drew McWeeny and Jeff Sneider? Well, the thing about it here is why this is such a good fight is because both of these competitors are coming in being heavily steeped in current and past movie knowledge. It's how Jeff Sneider got so far in the Schmoedown, and it's why Drew McWeeny was so feared coming into his very first match. It was why it was so anticipated. Everybody was waiting for Drew McWeeny to come into the match because he's so knowledgeable. But here's the thing, this is where this match gets interesting. Drew McWeeny has only had one match, and that was his debut match against Matt Nost. Right? Now, we all remember a similar match, a similar dynamic playing out in the Schmoedown, where Bibiani had his debut match. He had a perfect game, but then in the very next match that he played, he lost because he wasn't prepared. He just hadn't been around the Schmoedown for long enough, and I think that's going to come into play because Drew McWeeny's coming into this with a record of 1-0. That's it. He does have a win, but it's only one match. Now, Jeff Sneider is coming into this with a record of 3-2, a very formidable record, very fairly formidable record. But on top of that is also his record with JTE and the Patriots in team matches. So Jeff Sneider just has way more history. Drew McWeeny may have more history in movies, but Jeff Sneider has more history in the Schmoedown itself. And like I said, I'm recalling that match with Bibiani, those two matches with Bibiani, where he came in and he had a fantastic first game, but the second game he didn't do that well simply because he hadn't been around the Schmoedown for that long, which is why I'm going to have to give the edge in this particular match here to none other than Jeff Sneider. That's right, because I just think Jeff Sneider has been around this match for way longer than McWeeny has. He's been under the lights, he knows the atmosphere, he knows the environments, he has the ability to come out with a win for this match. Now, is it going to be a TKO? Definitely not a TKO. This is going to be, of course, like all these Schmoedown matches usually are, it's going to be at tooth and nail all the way to the very end. And for this match, I'm expecting a mid-range scoring game, somewhere around like maybe 18-16 or 17-16, somewhere around that. Not a particularly high-scoring game because I think that they're going to get tripped up in some areas, but not enough to give us a really bad score. It's going to be a mid-range to high-scoring game. So that's going to do it for my picks for the Schmoedown coming up on Friday. But now it's time for you guys to voice all of your opinions. Who do you guys think is going to come out victorious in this match? And why do you think it's going to be that way? Please share all your dynamics, all your thoughts, all your opinions down below in the Great White Void. And if you guys aren't watching the Schmoedown yet, please head over to Collider and subscribe to them for fresh movie trivia Schmoedown matches every Tuesday and every Friday. And also check out the Movie Trivia Schmoedown Facebook page started by fans for fans for all of the latest stats and update, and also schmoesknow.com. And as always, until next we meet, stay in a galaxy far, far away.